All right, let's talk about product management. Product management is the entire journey of bringing a product to life. Now, think about some of the best products you've used so far. Maybe your favorite iPhone app, for me, maybe it's Spotify, or your favorite feature on your Tesla. Now, everything that went into bringing that product to you is product management. It really begins with understanding what your customers' needs, translating those needs into tangible requirements, helping craft solutions for those, and then overseeing the entire product through its life cycle. Let's dive a little bit into what some of those things actually mean. It's an end-to-end process, right? So the first step really involves understanding your customer needs and understanding what pain points you have to solve. Once you have a good understanding of those needs, from there, product management involves translating those into tangible requirements of solutions that you can actually get to the market. And I want to highlight that it's actually really critical to understand your customer needs versus their wants. They might want a lot of different things, but what they really want to do might be completely different. And we'll talk a little bit about that later in the course. Also remember that you're always building technology for human beings. So it's important to understand their needs, their motivations, their goals, and OKR. So all of this includes understanding the customer needs. Now, like I said, once you have a good understanding of pain points, you start developing solutions, work with a lot of different teams in your company, and then you have a product that you can ship to the market. And that's not where your job ends. Product management is about staying close to your product throughout its life cycle. Are users adopting your product? What type of feedback are you getting from your early adopters? How is your competitive landscape and market evolving? So there's a lot here, so strap in, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's talk about why effective product management is the foundation of your business success. Product management strategically aligns your products, helps you meet customer needs, and helps you propel your company's revenue and growth. Think about it. If you're shipping good products to the market, your customers are going to renew more. They're going to use your product more. Maybe they'll attract even more customers, and that'll eventually generate more revenue for your company and better organizational success. So what are some of the key things in here? Let's talk about them a little bit. One is strategic alignment. Product management really ensures that you are aligning your product and your company strategy to your overall business goals. Secondly, it helps you meet customer needs. It's not just about creating products, it's about actually solving for real customer pain points. And that is really important to understand here. You are building technology for human beings to use and solve for their problems. And if you do all those things well, it becomes fundamental to driving revenue for your company. You build better products, they're strategically aligned to your business objectives. That means customers are going to use them more, and it's going to drive revenue for your business. And I think that's a really important point. You can build the best product that you want, but at the end of the day, it has to solve the problem and it has to generate revenue for your business. And finally, if all these things go well, it really fuels your growth as a company. Think about, some of the best products you've used so far, maybe an iPhone or maybe, the Tesla. They're all turbocharge your business and improve the prosperity of your business. So in essence, it's not an isolated task. It's one of those few roles in the company that touches almost every other team. And it's one of those few roles which truly propels your business forward. All right, let's explore the concept of versatility in small and medium-sized businesses where product managers play a very crucial role in overcoming resource constraints. Now, unlike large companies, which have a lot of teams and resources and just people working on different functions, in smaller companies, product managers have to wear many hats because there are just not a lot of people and there are a lot of things to do. You really end up becoming true multitaskers. Your role can go from talking to your customers, understanding their needs, drafting requirements, working with your engineering team, shipping products to market, working with marketing teams, creating a story around it, and helping your sales and customer success teams drive adoption. So there's a lot that you end up doing in a small and a medium company. And one of the biggest challenges that I've seen since I've spent a lot of time in early stage startups is to really focus and figure out things that move the needle for your business. Because there will be so many things to do, you really have to prioritize and figure out what's really important. So from my experience, some of the things that have really helped so far is just talk to your users constantly. Irrespective actually the size of the company you're in, talking to your users and staying close to them is probably one of the best ways to understand and prioritize things you need to build. Set up baseline data collection processes with your sales and customer success teams. They are closer to your customers and prospects. They'll give you a lot of feedback. So use that feedback. I've actually used tools like Product Board itself to help make that efficient. And finally, just focus on adoption. It's important, especially if you're an SMB, that more and more users are adopting your product. So all of these things hopefully will help you and make this a strategic advantage for you. As a product manager in a small company, you're just not managing products. You're actually navigating the entire life cycle and propelling growth for your business. All right, specialization in enterprises and in enterprise settings. Let's talk a little bit about that. Now, in larger companies, product managers tend to have more specialized roles, and they focus on specific aspects of the product development or a product area and collaborating with other large cross-functional teams. Now, the main reason for this is larger companies have different types of problems to deal with. You're probably not solving for product market fit if you're in a large company, but you're trying to actually sustain growth, or you're trying to get your product to maturity. And those are different problems, and all of those need different teams and different specializations in order to solve for that. Now, unlike the landscape of SMBs, you might actually in larger companies find that product managers are maybe organized by their niche. Maybe they're organized by the product area, like there might be a team for your mobile app or your web app, or there might be a team just focused on integrations or APIs. And all of this is to say that working in a large company in product management is very different than working in a small companies. Because there are these different areas, you as a PM will be able to specialize in one of those areas, and that will become a fundamental advantage for you. And as a result of that, that'll help you sort of drive more business growth, take your product to the next level, and sustain the growth that you might already be having. All right, we've talked about small and medium businesses and enterprises so far, and scale and complexity vary significantly between SMBs and enterprises. Now, in SMBs, operations are sort of compact. Your teams are smaller, you have fewer resources to work with. Like we mentioned, product managers have to wear many hats. It might end up, you might end up working with your marketing team, your sales team, your customer success team, and doing a lot of things that you might not have to do in a larger company. So in contrast, in enterprises and in large companies, with more scale and complexity, you will require to specialize in some specific area. So you might have very different teams working on all these different problems, and you might end up specializing in one of those areas. So the impact of this is actually huge. SMBs thrive on versatility, iteration, and they're way more agile and adaptable, while enterprises rely on specialization to ensure a quality product and an efficient product goes out in the market. Strategic alignment in product management is the fundamental principle that holds true regardless of the size of the company you're working in. Effective product management is really about understanding what your business goals are and aligning your product development with those broader business goals to ensure that you not only ship the best product to market, but you're delivering maximum value to your customers. Now, this is just not a nice to have. In fact, just based on my experience, if you are a PM or if you're planning to work as a product manager, I strongly recommend one of the first things you should do is actually understand what your company goals are and try to align all the activities you're trying to do or all the products you're trying to ship to the market with these goals. This is truly the only way to ensure that each product that gets developed not only moves the needle for your customers, but also contributes significantly to your company's overall success. So strategic alignment is the secret sauce that transforms your product development and your product management from a series of tasks into a broader strategy for your company that meets your business goals.